Hello, YouTubers. It's the 26th of November, year 2024 AC. Yeah, well, globally speaking, yes. So it's basically that time throughout the whole planet Earth as we speak. I've, well, apparently I received I received some requests for me to go live from from some of my viewers, and as a matter of fact, I did not really um, scheduled my live stream session for this day just yet, and I certainly make no promises on specifically when and how I initiate my future live streams. Though on the other hand, I do keep I try my best to keep an open door policy when it comes to hearing what you guys have to say about my schedule and my 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 status or status quo, and the next steps to take in order to better ourselves as men in this shitty life. So yeah, basically yes, did not actually gathered much to say, and during this live stream, and hence I might just I might just utter loads of mumbo jumbos in this filming session. um, though the night just got started, and the night is young, despite how sleepy I've become, and yet I considered I can't really fall asleep or just indulge my current my strong desire to give in to to another session of super duper early hibernation, um, unless I wind up waking up in the middle of midnight and then feel miserable again on the next day, and having the whole schedule of operations and plans of actions compromised. Though I don't, though I do still, I perceive that I do still have some rooms for mistakes and maneuvers, even if I do, again, mess up my hard earned, relatively speaking, normal circadian rhythm. Nevertheless, I would like to maintain it. I would like to I would like to protect and defend it as much as I can, and for as long duration of time as I can, so I can remain primed for the for the scheduled mission of exodus slash adventure out of China. hopefully that shall happen soon. But unfortunately, I met plenty of setbacks, and speaking of which, it may require a bit of a more a bit of a more craftiness and finesse involving lots of working my angles to get or at least to buy a prepaid SIM card with a local Chinese number. But that that's the tricky part. That's the what do we say? That's the in terms of rather fancy and schmancy term. That's the caveat. That's the tricky part, and I'm currently de- devoting lots of my resources and strength and energy to find a way around that. That's unfortunately for unfortunately for well technically speaking, unfortunately for Chinese nationals wishing to apply for a visa to to Japan. um every applicant has to go through the doorkeepers, the and agency guarding their gate, um and can't apply for the visa directly to the embassy the Japanese um you know di- um, di- diplomatic mission, say a consulate. you know Literally every literally speaking, every application made by a Chinese national to visit Japan has to go through an agency located in China first. But that can the only I suppose the only exception is that by the time you lodge your application, you are currently residing in a third um, state, or a third region, or um, country, long term, at least, say maybe you know half a year or 1 year. That's when you do not have to go through an agency, or a so-called third person or third party to to submit your application. But unfortunately, yes, currently that's the status quo. And they will likely refuse to submit your application on your behalf if you do not have a Chinese mobile number, since they keep claiming claiming this shite, that well, in case the embassy phones you for more to for more information, or to verify, or to double check the existing documents you submitted, and they run into a third party who knows nothing about you or your application, then they might just say no to your application, and then your you will mess the thing up, well, and blah blah blah. Yes, but it's we are now we are now the Jake Paul haters club. Boobies. Meow station. Juice, welcome to my channel and welcome to the program. Thank you for your messages and tuning in to this live. Yeah, so yes, back to the to the main to the back to where I left. So basically I took the liberty of writing down, filling in my adopted mom slash one of my aunts mobile number, and and my adopted mom was way too straightforward, way too honest to utter a lie that well that that was the number they can use to reach out to me regarding my application. But and that, unfortunately, yes, um yes, that well, but I do admit to my fault, for taking the liberty of using her number as if it was mine. So that says I will have to look for alternatives by working my by working between the angles to to see to see it through. And yeah, that's basically so far how things are going regarding my application, to to pay Japan a third visit. Yes, and back to the main topic for this video, for this filming session, for this live stream. In life, we basically have four choices, four kinds of options. Option number one is we can choose to live in misery and remain in such type of misery. Option number two is we can, yes, we may want to try to make a difference to change that state of misery and see how it works out or not. And option number three is to die. Is to die in misery, and I'm sure most of you guys, well, I should say the vast majority of of human individuals or living organisms will not take that route, will not you know um, choose, or will not have the disposition or inclination to choose that route or route, for your, I suppose, yes, for um yes, for you American folks, I suppose you tend to say route instead of route. Yeah, but yeah, basically, yeah. And option number four is you yes, you choose to die in peace or die relatively painful, relatively speaking, painless and peaceful death. But honestly, that doesn't really spell quite an option, to most, if not all, of us sitting here, or lying in bed, watching or filming this live stream. Well, at least for for commoners like us, we do not. Well, first of all, we do not have the legal the legal basis to make that um, conscious and um, you know logical choice. And secondly, it may just cost uh, an exorbitant amount of fortune, to do so. So assuming you can get, assuming you have gained, or you have mastered a certain amount of money that large, that can enable you to euthanize yourself. Why not first of all use them? Why not spend that money on gaming, on enjoying the maximal amount or level of pleasure you can get your hands on, and then you choose to euthanize yourself? Why not that? So yeah, I suppose currently I have chosen the second route, or the second option, or at least so I imagine. But other than that, I really do not have a lot of updates to share with you guys during this live session, during this live streaming. But long story short is that I have been still trying my utmost best to take and a leap of faith and courage to change, to improve my, to change my status quo slash to improve, to change my status quo for the better slash to improve my status quo, you know, to stay, to change myself, to transform myself into far from weak, from a state of, from a vulnerable slash weakened state, as a result of losing my old man and my grandma 3 years in a row. Yeah. Um. So yeah, I. So as beg your pardon. So for the most part, for the most for the most duration of time, um, during my absence from YouTube, I've been, I engaged, I switched on my ghost mode, and I barely had any interactions, face to face interactions with other humans, with other people. Um, and probably due to that, I managed to, to have earned and gathered, some income, some more income, to fund my next trip. Well, at least so I imagine, and but yeah, I still miss, another piece, of the puzzle in order to make it happen, in order to make it a part of my reality. Unfortunately, um, yeah, I don't know about you guys, but generally speaking, as far as I can tell, most men uh, throughout the whole globe are struggling and suffering. Um, and hence, I, you know, decided, to pop up a little bit more by initiating a live stream. But judging from the current, the current traffic and the viewers online, I currently have zero viewers and zero um, you know, that I received from this live stream. Yeah, but I do have had, yes, two viewers that tuned in and said hi. Yeah, so you know, I really, do not um I can't really, find anything else, to say to encourage myself and you guys, so that, we may make our biggest comeback of life again. All we can do is basically keep grinding, keep learning, keep evolving, keep growing. Look for, look for ways, to make a difference. Look for alternatives. Look for alternative routes to overcome a certain problem or a number of problems or difficulties, you know, in one single attempt. Well, but do not expect to solve your problems in one single attempt, since we tend to vastly underestimate, the amount of work, the amount of time and effort it may take to wrap up, to solve that problem. And yet consider that an advantage, since your enemies will very much likely underestimate you too. They do not really expect us to, to get up, to rise up again and again after waves and waves of setbacks, of frustrations, of failures. And yet, we have, not saying that we have the upper hand, but we do stand, a chance of hitting them, when and where they do not expect. AKA, we can take, definitely take the advantage of the element of surprise. Yes, and that's written, you know, in the book. Well, I beg your pardon. I suppose that's a strategy. I suppose the art of war by Sun Tzu documented that particular strategy of war. You know, the element of surprise. Use it. Make it a leverage. Whenever, wherever you can to subdue your enemies. If you can't or don't stand much of benefit to reap by defeating your enemies, by facing your enemies um, head head to head, toe to toe, in a frontline battle, then you may want to consider evading your enemies instead of fighting them directly. To in order to preserve your strength, your morale, your spirit, so that you stand a better chance of winning next time. You know, when you have to face your enemies, and by saying enemies, it can include intangible, intangible ones, intangible enemies, such as your mental illness, your current, weakened mental state, characterized by anxiety, OCDs, depression, or severe depressions, even suicidal thoughts. They are your enemies too. They are our enemies too, because they stand in the way of us achieving victory, achieving greatness, of achieving what we want, what we desire to. Um, yeah, but apparently, I currently do not really have shit. Just to summarize, think before you speak. Um, Become a monster, but control it. Control your emotions, control your passions. But when when the opportunity starts to present itself, use your emotions. Make leverage of your dark emotions to fuel. Such as anger and frustration, and the desire to take vengeance. Make leverage of all these dark emotions to fuel your biggest comeback of life. Yeah. Prove, at least, prove it, prove it, try to prove it to yourselves that you can do it, that you can stay far from weak, that you can at least, relocate to a better place where you can attain and enjoy a better quality of life by consuming better food, more healthy and more tasty food, and you know and by interacting with people that you can learn from or take benefits or even take advantages from. But I know it may sound dark, it may sound you know egotistical to some of you guys, particularly to some younger guys out there, by saying learn to take advantage of people. But unfortunately, every single each and every single um interaction and relation between human individuals involve transactions. Even the so-called bond between you and your parents or your best known friends, they involve tran- they involve transactions, aka business. It does not, however, necessarily have to involve money, but it still doesn't negate the fact that every each and every human, each and every interaction or relations amongst humans involve transactions inevitably. Yeah. Yes, even this particular live stream involves interactions. Though not so strongly, not so such. I do not um, consider such transaction or bond of interaction that strong, since most of the time I'm just sitting here talking to my lone self. But I want you to know that you can, you have the power, you have the power, you have the potential to make a difference, even to your own life, to yourselves. You do not really have to make making a difference to the whole world or to the people you love and care about a priority. You do not have to prioritize accomplishing such goal or mission. Instead, you can still be reasonably selfish by making your own life better a top priority, instead of trying to minister to or serve the interest or benefits or well-being of others. Well, surprisingly, I don't stutter as much as my previous filming session, despite the fact that I haven't spoken. I haven't been speaking very much. I haven't. I suppose I haven't spoken sentences longer than 3 words for nearly a week, until this live stream. Yeah, until this live stream, I haven't spoken much. Well, yeah. Well, except yes, on several occasions, I had to answer a few phone calls in Mandarin, and I didn't really stutter that much. Though I can't say that I didn't stutter at all. But yeah, even this during this live stream, yes, probably I made a maybe I gathered enough amount of mojo or self esteem not to stutter that much. Maybe thank God and thank you guys. Yeah, But other than that, other than what I've already said, pay no attention to, or pay as little attention as you can to distractions, to to anything or anyone that holds you back, that that tries to bring you down, slash the haters, the trolls. But I'm not saying that I am completely impervious, to trolling or hating others. Everyone has the potential to behave or act like a troll or a hater, out of frustration, out of desperation. I too, on many occasions, trolled and made some rather hateful and mean comments on some videos of some other you YouTubers. Namely, maybe hiding in my room, but I meant him no harm. I just had no other place to vent my frustration and anger and rage, yeah, or indignation. But do remember that if you, well, once you spray, or you vent your indignation to those that has pretty much nothing to do with you, you are weakening yourself. You are making yourself more vulnerable, to to your own self hate and sometimes, but not always. Sometimes your self fulfilling prophecy, but yet on most occasions, your self fulfilling. Well, I should say those so-called self fulfilling prophecies don't really come true. But it's still, they have they carry the toxin to to potentially compromise or undermine our well-being. you know yes, so do say, do like I said, think before you speak. Do not say things even to yourself that are degrading, that are hateful, that are potentially compromising or damaging. Say, for example, say, I freaking want to die, or I freaking, or say something like hashtag my life is shit, my hashtag life sucks, blah blah blah, or life sucks suicide, blah blah blah. But yeah, I yes, I myself, oftentimes say that because I have no one to vent my frustration and in indignation. So but try not to self sabotage. Yeah, just stand your ground. Be stoic. Be indifferent. Know how to remain apathetic and stoic. That, however, doesn't mean that you stop showing your sympathy to those who are suffering and struggling. You can still try to say something reassuring, or some, you can still say something kind to reassure them, but just learn to keep your mouth shut when you have nothing nice to say. Just learn when to keep your mouth shut. Yeah. Actions, because actions speak louder than words. Take actions to better your life instead of, um, you know, instead of indulging in self sabotage, self destructive behaviors and speeches. Um, yeah, but that, still, you can still, um, you you can still try, or live in accordance with the principles of staying far from weak and self improvements, and yet remain a black pillar. Being a black b- being a you know being a black pillar means that we you know we you know we love truths more than lies. Um we are realist. We do not bet our leverages on unrealistic, on something or someone unrealistic. We keep it real. Yeah. And we by realizing that, the cruel and harsh truth that nobody cares, particularly when it comes to men's health. Nobody cares. And yet realizing that, in fact, liberates us men, that we can do whatever it takes to you know to win, to embark on the path to glory and honor and power. Yeah. I suppose I have talked enough. So, yeah, remain stoic, hold the line, and take good care of yourselves, but particularly your health, both your physical health and mental health. But first, first thing, first things first, your physical health and your mental health. They come hand in hand. You can't have a physical health. You can't have a sound status of mental health without a solid state of physical health, and vice versa. Yeah. Just do whatever it takes to improve your health status, um, your health condition. Then you work on something else. Yeah. Thank you for watching and listening. Until next time, if God's still willing. Cheers. Goodbye.